morning, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you are having a fantastic day. If you're new to the channel, my name is Parker Nierenstein, and this is Vehicle Virgins. My new dog, whose name is Ketchup, absolute love of my life, is actually over there in an R2-D2 costume, and I don't know where the dog got that. I imagine Alex has something to do with that. That's pretty awesome. So we're standing here by the SVJ63. This is a 1 of 63, kind of more special version. I love it in white, actually. It shows off the line so well. As you guys know, I ordered the SVJ. I really, though, I want one of these. So Lamborghini, if you're watching, please, let's work something out. Obviously, with that and the Aperta and what I'm about to announce, you guys are thinking either I won the lottery or I'm crazy or both. I feel like I won the happiness lottery, and I am crazy and I love cars. But before we go on to talk about the 600LT, I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for all the support. This is like an absolute dream come true. I've been waiting a while to make these kinds of moves, and at the same time, as crazy as it is, they're all pretty much appreciating assets, so it could be worse. But my most appreciating and my most thankful asset, being, is that doggy right there. I freaking love that dog. And it's gonna have an Instagram. It's gonna be ridiculous. All right, let's roll to the MSO 600LT. So over here, we've got the 600LT. I rode in it up the hill climb, absolutely loved the car. Haven't driven it yet, but just from the passenger seat alone, I could tell it was raw, it was quick, it was everything I wanted from a McLaren. Now, originally I told them that I wanted to wait for the LT version of the 720S, but that's gonna be about 3 years out. So to tide myself over, and it turns out it's not even tiding myself over, this actually happens to be almost more in line with what I want than I was originally anticipating. It's a lighter weight version of the 570S with a heck of a lot more downforce and some really cool features. So let's go around to the front. And yeah, I've bought one, and it's coming in like, well, I don't even want to say when it's coming because I don't want to be wrong. Apparently, the roof scoop, which is an option that I got in the center seats, have delayed it a little bit because there are some pretty intensive modifications to the car, but I gotta show you how the aerodynamics works in the front of this thing. So if you look at the front of the car, you notice it is all about aerodynamics. We of course have the MSO roof scoop that feeds air as a ram air effect into the engine bay. We also have this beautiful lower carbon fiber splitter. So we have high pressure air ramming right through here. We've also got a nice camera, which I'm not actually positive if it's for track telemetry or hopefully, finally, a manufacturer has listened and put a device here so you can see a curb at ground level so that you don't chunk your $100,000 front bumper. But high pressure air goes like this. The splitter fins it to low air temperature radiators, so you can cool that. Runs through here, travels along the side, up along the splitter here. We've also got, look at the effect in the door here. You can even reach your hand all the way through. How cool is that? We've got turbulent airflow in the wheel well that can escape through these carbon fiber vents. Obviously, this car is all about carbon fiber, and don't worry guys, we got all the carbon fiber. So check this out, air flows along the side from the side skirt all the way to the rear diffuser, also along here into the high temperature radiator, and it can also travel up here as well. Air goes over the car into the roof scoop for extra ram air effect. And then the coolest parts, well, actually, the coolest part in my opinion is this. I drove a 675LT and a 675LT with and without the roof scoop. I haven't driven a P1, but I've been in one, and then having driven the Senna, that makes all the difference in the world in terms of sound. The actual visceral experience of the airflow passing over your head. And if you look on the inside, you can actually see that the carbon fiber roof scoop goes into the cabin itself and then splits in 2 different spots, and then actually goes right over your head. So that all that airflow, let's say you're going 150 miles an hour, is going straight over your head in a carbon fiber tube, which is pretty cool. Now come around back. This has one of the coolest looking, one of the sexiest rear ends around. What the, is that appropriate, McLaren? I don't know. So some really cool features of the 600LT. The top exit exhaust. Now originally people were rumoring that the top exit exhaust added downforce by exhaust gases going into the sky. That's not true. But what it does do is shorten the length of the exhaust because it only has to travel from the engine right there to right here, which means it's going to be lighter and shorter. It also means it's going to be louder, and it means less travel distance for excess fuel mixture to dissipate, which means it shoots massive flames. And I'm talking massive blue flames while you're on the gas, this long, just like the Aperta, but I shouldn't compare, I'm sorry, I've ruined this whole review. But anyways, it shoots beautiful, massive blue flames. And one thing I was wondering is why does this element of the wing come not in carbon fiber. But if you think of it closely, it makes a lot of sense. The entire wing is actually one piece of carbon fiber, and then there's this protective coating, because otherwise the carbon fiber laminate would just melt right off, which is a cool problem to have on a car like this. Drop down to the diffuser. This right here actually traps air from the side skirt in and around the car. Massive diffuser for added downforce. And honestly, the only disappointment I have is if I were to modify it and put a bigger wing on the car, you can't actually do that, because if you made the wing any taller and larger, it would just catch fire. And yeah, we know how things work when they catch fire. It's not good. Damn it. All right, well, for those of you who are living under a rock, this is Cody Walker, and for those of you who don't know that I'm actually really into R34 GTRs, I actually don't know how to get one in the US, so I feel like, could you help me out with this? Maybe. I'll take you up on that, maybe. Maybe. Thanks, man. The one amazing thing about Pebble Beach is the cars you can see. There's not too many places, if any, in the world where you can see a group of Ferraris, Maseratis, Alphas, Porsches, BMWs, cars that are iconic from every make, all here at the same time. Yeah, there's pretty much too many people and it's hard to get a good shot of any single one of them, but where else are you gonna see something like a 250 TR? Now that brings up values. These things are unbelievable, and I was talking to somebody about what happens when the generation that we're in all of a sudden loses interest in these cars. The owners of these cars are very old, because in general, to be able to afford a 30, 40, $50 million car, you're probably gonna have to be old. But are we going to actually appreciate the fine automotive history and art that's in these cars? And I'm hoping through this channel we can actually do that, and I know that a lot of you think that's possible. But a car just went up for auction, a private sale, for $70 million, pretty recently actually. And then after that, last night, one went up for sale, which was a more special car with better racing heritage, for $44 million. So definitely the actual value is extraordinarily volatile, and it's kind of what the person is feeling that day. I kind of feel bad for the person who spent 70 because their car just had a massive market correction and one gavel drop, but I think he'll probably be okay. He still has a $50 million Ferrari. The other big element of Pebble Beach is the golf course and the houses on the golf course, as well as the outfits. This is just one giant, elegant festival that happens to be about cars. For those of you who don't know, I was huge into golf. I've played Spyglass Hill, Poppy Hills, Del Monte, a bunch of the courses around here. I haven't actually played Pebble, but I'm also huge into modern architecture. I mean, look at that. It's like a giant hula hoop sculpture, and somehow that's really fancy, and it actually looks pretty good. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm so excited about the 600LT. Thank you each and every one of you for subscribing. If you haven't already and you found this video awesome, smash that subscribe button. And as always, I look forward to seeing you next video.